Alright, so I had an issue recording, but okay, so it's King's Gambit. Let's go through the moves real quick. E4, just to catch you up. E4, E5. So H6 has just been played. I think I'm just going to keep the pressure on this knight. Play it like a Ruy Lopez with F4 being played. I think I want to play... I think I'll allow this E4 pawn to be taken, because I'm going to get a lot of pressure when I take on E5. A lot of pressure on the E line with Queen E2. Maybe Knight G5 is an idea. Alright, so here... this looks good. If he takes the E4 pawn, I don't know, I have surely a tactic on the E line that wins material somehow, or opens the position before his king's ready to castle. And if I can... Okay, so he has done that. So rook E... So maybe F5 now, but that wakens H5, E8 diagonal. So he plays that. And, okay, so now G5 is possible. Knight G5, that is. And that opens the line for the queen to go to H5 with check. Also, another move might be Bishop D5. So he doesn't have castling here as an idea. But he can take this knight. The knight can move now. So I'll go for this, and I'll retreat this knight. Is that a good idea? Queen. Yeah, I'll retreat this knight to keep. Okay. And so I'm easily getting my pawn back. The question is how to do it. So maybe I'll go here. So I'm attacking this knight and this rook. And if he plays c6, then I'll just take care of the knight, and f5 takes. Then okay, so too many variations really to talk about. So queen takes, or no, I think knight takes is better. Just to open my queen for this check in the future. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize my bishop can't, obviously can't retreat, so maybe I guess we'll take on d6 just to keep pieces on. Also, it threatens the bishop on e7. Alright, this just can't be good. What's going on? Alright, so I guess he has to get the queen here, and he does. So material on the surface, I guess, does look kind of even, but when you look at the awkward piece placement, I just can't believe it. Alright, so let's play queen f3, just gaining time on this development to get my rook out. I'll trade the knight if he ever plays knight c4, because his knight is better than mine. Oh no, I don't have weaknesses like he does, so even though I'm only a pawn up, the weakness of his king and the position of his pieces should be more than just one pawn. So my idea here is queen f4. What I'd like to do is get the d4 square for my knight to go to f3. So let's go here, and I might take with a queen, threaten G7. How's he defend? Right. Okay. Now I won't. So the knight's coming to D4, E5 next. Okay. Here I'll capture. And right, does he have anything? He doesn't have a check. He does have knight E3, but I have check with the knight, and I'll take it. Yeah. Okay. Let's just infiltrate with my queen. Still threatening this check. Knight E3 doesn't look like it's frightening. I don't see any threats after that. Still rook E1 check's not an option. Meanwhile, okay, and then maybe just check here. Okay, and I think it was a little bit rushed to sack the exchange, but I'm down to a minute now. Maybe he's trying to flag me. Alright, let's just attack pawns. Don't know how he defends against this. I think his pawns are just going to drop. I think the best move here is bishop e8. But now I'll take this guy with check first. And king c7 looks forced. Maybe king b7. But the idea of running around this way, so yeah, king c7 looks forced. And then the h-pawn runs. He'll have to sacrifice a minor piece to stop it. Okay, so I guess another pawn drops. Okay. The problem is that his knight's not in position to blockade. Okay. Alright, so good game, matkap. Alright, so let's look at that again since you guys missed the beginning. So this King's Gambit is like, I'm not sure if this knight c6 variation is. Sometimes I play it on accident when I'm expecting knight f3, they play f4, sometimes I play knight c6. I think that's what happened here. I bet if you looked up his games, you would see, well, let's just check real quick, see if I'm allowed to see on chess.com, I'm not sure. So he, okay, so, right, so, I don't have premium membership, but if I did, I would be able to see what he usually plays against 2 f4. And I doubt it's knight c6. I just think that was a mistake. That I'm not actually sure if it's a bad opening. I just don't think it's the best. Okay, so King's Gambit declined, and I know Boris Spassky is big on this opening, and he played bishop b5. So I guess it kind of matches the same ideas of a normal king pawn opening. Just a battle over the e5 square. Now I guess d3 here was a good move also, because here he can win the bishop pair by well, that does lose a pawn. Okay, so he attacks the e4 pawn, and I think the reason he got in such a bad position is because he got greedy here. So if he wanted to accept, basically, if he wanted to accept the King's Gambit, this isn't the setup he would go for. In a normal game, e4, e5, f4 takes. You might play g5, threatening g4, gaining space on the king's side. You might play g5 and h6, just playing bishop g7 and just keeping a solid king side, where it's kind of hard to break up. And castling queen side, and generally the queen side pawns don't move out like this, like they would in a Rui. Just because black does tend to well, it doesn't tend to, but could castle on this side, and now there's tons of weaknesses. Also, I've completed my development as far as my kingside development and castled, and that's where he went wrong, opening the E line. It's not worth a pawn, and I think F5 is just too weakening. I mean, the diagonal prevents him from castling. Although bishop E7 does look kind of slow. It kind of hurts him more than anything. Maybe A4 here was a good move. Just to give my bishop the A2 square to stay on this diagonal, have more space on that diagonal. But I challenged the knight, and so I guess in hindsight, maybe just holding off in development and attacking his weak queen side might have been better. Again, to further prevent castling, where he'd have to have a plan like queen c8 and bishop e6 to castle anytime soon. And in the meantime, I think my attack would have been faster. But this gave him a move to resolve some tension in the center and exchange some pieces. So here I thought, I really thought that he'd play c6, but I guess he was scared of losing the f pawn. But I mean, it's at the expense of this light square bishop, which being so weak on the light squares, giving the pawn back to have an open f file and castled king, I don't think it's a bad idea. So he plays c6 here, and okay, I see the idea. He wants me off this diagonal, and he doesn't want to give up this pawn, but also this pawn blocks his bishop, so this pawn might be, better just off the board if he was able to pick this off the board and castle. Say in a position where I actually move this bishop. So I was thinking about bishop e6, just trebling on the e line. But I thought this was a quicker win, so I don't think taking there is necessary. He has enough defenders. I mean, he probably should do something to resolve this tension. Well, it might be already too late. Actually, it does look too late. It just seems like c6 isn't a sufficient idea here. Maybe here. Yeah, it keeps d6 strong. c4 is pretty strong. c6 is threatened. I don't have any threats as of yet. I mean, king f8 is not a move you want to play, but he has a pawn up for this, and this is why you sack a pawn in the king's gambit to get a position like this. Let's go back for a second. And so yeah, I think that this bishop's pinned, so this leaving this pawn hanging, and also threatening a piece. Yeah, knight and a bishop. He's just an exchange. Maybe not an exchange down, but yeah, an exchange down and a pawn down. It looks like. See, it's got the pawns. Yeah. Okay, so the pawns are equal. 2 to 3 and 4 to 3. But he's the exchange down for bishop and rook versus queen. But he has his king in the center and a semi-open board with open files. This position's perfect for a knight and rook. There's an open file for my rook, and there's outpost squares for my knight. So I just have the ideal pieces for this type position. And king d6 to defend a central pawn is not the move you'd like to play in this type of game. His king just gets kicked around, and again, more weaknesses. He's blocking in his bishop. This pawn is better off not there, although it's a completely lost position. And it wasn't long after this where I just start taking pawns. And there's no way to stop the pawn. Alright. Thanks for watching.